We are on week 15, and I want to share with you the importance of gratitude. And not in the sense of what most gurus talk about, which is having gratitude before you manifest something. Because when we manifest, it's important that we bring an attitude of gratitude so that it gets anchored down through a channel of gratitude so that we can be in alignment with that energy, be able to discern if the manifestation is truly coming from that channel of gratitude or if it is coming from elsewhere, because that'll help you decide if it's for your highest good. If it's not, that will really help you discern, which is really crucial and important for building the foundation of a manifestation that is for your highest good and one that will last and serve you. Because if you energetically pull something that is not for your highest good, what that'll do energetically, it will warp your experiences that come out of that manifestation. And for me, if you do end up pulling stuff that is not for your highest good, just take it as a learning experience. I know that's what I had to do. And it really allowed me to know, okay, I am channeling from gratitude. This is coming from gratitude. This is coming from a higher sense of peace, love, and joy. So I'm going to trust this energy. It's all about energy because once you start to align and know what that energy feels like, you will be able to detect, okay, this doesn't feel like peace or joy. This doesn't resonate with that energy. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to trust this decision and trust that something else is coming in, which is crucial. So, and I want to share this because I had an experience this week where trusting that gratitude is more important than the overall linear experience, or at least the outward experience. And I had two very important things that happened this week that reminded me of trusting my inner knowing and also being open to understanding why certain things are not meant for me, why you may have certain boundaries down, and all that is important so you don't take on energy that will hinder your manifestations, hinder your progress. So, the first example is an eraser. And I know this might sound really simple and weird, but since I'm in the beginning of this manifestation marathon, the smaller incidences will probably mirror bigger things moving forward. That's just my theory. We'll see how it goes. And I'm going to test this theory and I'm going to talk about that in the next video. So stay tuned for that. You can subscribe to my channel if you would like to see my progress, if you'd like to join me. And also, if you would just like access to all the videos, if you yourself want to import this style of manifestation and utilize this practice, because I go into detail. I provide you with affirmations to use. I give you everything that I do and basically walk you through my process so you have a guide. I don't feel like a lot of people do this, and this is something that I wanted to do for myself, and I also wanted to provide for you guys as well because I wish someone had done this. It would have been helpful. I'm assuming there are, programs out there, but for me, this is just something that I felt called to do, so here I am doing it. So I have been needing an eraser at work, and I have also been needing a pencil. I have been stubborn, and I didn't want to order any just because I felt like it was a little bit pointless. Many people don't use pencils in the office. We use pens. And the fact that my pencil went missing was just one of those things where I was like, oh man, dang, that sucks. I really need a pencil. And so I desired a pencil, and a pencil came into my reality, and I got really excited about it. It was one of those moments where I was like, oh, I manifested. But I remember looking at the pencil and thinking, oh, this energy is off. I don't like this pencil. And I'll be honest, I picked it up and it still didn't resonate with me. I didn't use it. And I was like, I don't like this energy in and around me. So I ended up putting it back where I found it and I let it go. And I told myself I'll just wait for another pencil. Flash forward a few weeks, this week, I ended up having a conversation with my coworker about needing an eraser, an actual good eraser. We just had a funny conversation about it. I remember looking at her really nice eraser and desiring one. I was like, I really need this for work. It wasn't out of a place of jealousy, like, oh, I want to take that. It was, I really just need an eraser to do my job and do my work. I think there's an innocence in desire that people need to realize and hone in. Is your desire coming from a place of lack, which would be envy and jealousy? Or is it coming from a place of pure innocence of, I just simply need this? Because when you tap into that energy of innocence, that'll also help you tap into the energy of gratitude with greater ease as well. So I just sat there and I was like, oh, okay, uh, great. I need a pencil and an eraser. And a few days passed, and I ended up going home, and my little nephew had a pencil, and he had extra ones, a whole box full. And I ended up taking a brand new pencil from someone that I love and adore, and they had extra to spare. So that energetically felt good for me. But before I got that pencil, I walk in from work. He's sitting on the table doing his homework, and he's playing with this eraser that he'd broken down. And I look at him and I ask, could Auntie have one? And he ended up giving me an eraser. Now, a lot of people might have been like, oh, I don't want your eraser because it's broken up, it's not pretty, this, that, and the other thing. But the fact that he took the time to pick me out the biggest piece in such a loving and caring manner, I was like, this is the energy I want. I was like, this is the perfect eraser. This is the energy I want. It was gifted to me from someone where that eraser is worth gold to a 6-year-old. That's everything. That's the energy that I want. And I am PMSing, so I might be crying through this thing today. Now I have a pencil and eraser. And I wanted to share that because I could have had an eraser sooner, but it wasn't of the highest energy caliber and potential of gratitude for me to experience. I feel like we want things so quickly that we miss out on the chance of embracing not only gratitude, but receiving gifts of love from other people. And when it's a gift of true love, that can only bring abundance in a physical form, an energetic form, and maybe multiple different forms. And the fact that it came from someone that I love was such a blessing to me. And I remember just being so full of gratitude for not only waiting, having that experience, and having an eraser for work, getting all my needs met. It checked all the boxes. And I want to share this experience with you because there's another experience that I had where I was waiting for a bus. The bus did not come, and I ended up getting an Uber. And I ended up offering a ride with another person, and I ended up paying for it. And this was because I had mentally already said I would do this as a treat to this person, um, in a way of showing gratitude that I am being provided for. And for me, as I say, it's I'm being provided for, not I'm providing for that person, which I think we need to be careful when it comes to the manifesting process is thinking that we are the ones that are, yes, we can gift people, but is it coming from a place of I am sharing and I'm abundant, or is it a place of lack, but also guilt? Because that doesn't serve the person that you're trying to help. That actually is lowering their vibration, which is crucial. Especially, I know for myself, whenever I've gotten a lot, I feel this guilt of, oh, I need to give. And that doesn't help me. So I'm learning how to discern when to give and who to give to, because overgiving doesn't help. It also takes from my energy and it opens me up to energetically be a dumping ground for people, which is not okay. I offered this person a ride. They said yes. And for me, I saw them the next day and I was just busy doing my own work and stuff. And they have blatantly made it clear that they come from a place of lack. And I understand it because I've been there. But when someone complains continuously, that is then a choice. And if you're choosing to see things from a negative standpoint, that becomes their work, not yours. And so for myself, I just kind of detached because I could see the energy of wanting to thrive on complaining. I just had to separate a little bit. I was like, yeah, I'm grateful I was able to help. It was grateful I was able to get home. And, I'm just going to focus on what I want and need, which is a car. Because there's many different reasons why I'm like, okay, we are at a point where taking the public transportation is not of my highest good. And I was ready to do it for a year, but I'll share the whole story in the next video. But this person ended up offering me money, and I said no because I felt that they needed it more for me. And I had to take a step back and I asked myself later, I was like, was that coming from a place of lack? Was that coming from a place of my discomfort and not wanting that energy? And I sat there with it and I realized that it had nothing to do with any of that. My hesitation and my not wanting to pick up on it was the fact that this person didn't think of it themselves. Someone else told them, well, you should do this. So she was giving to me out of guilt. This person may have, offered down the line, but I don't know what to trust with that situation. What I do know is she was giving from a place of guilt. And I didn't want that guilt. I didn't want that energy. And I never wanted her to feel like guilt. It's interesting how people can feel that way. And I get it. I've been there because you want to be of support. You want to help. You want to pitch in. But when someone truly gives from a place of, I just want to give, we have to learn to receive with grace as well. And that's something that I'm also learning. So for me, it was this dance of, okay, I'm giving with grace. And I'm also understanding that I don't need to overgive with this person. And I also don't need to take their money because energetically it just does not feel right. I do not think it's a place of lack. And what I did was I sent a prayer of, I hope that you end up giving it back to someone else. And to me, that's my resolve because if it comes up again and she does try to pay for something, I'll just tell her, I want you to pay it forward. And if you ever feel energetically like someone's gift is not good or it does not mean well, especially if it's in a form of money or some type of transference, just tell them, I would love you to pay this forward because I gave you a gift. And if you feel called to give back, give it to someone you feel is in need and you would love to support because then that's coming from a place of a higher consciousness that's opening up their mind to wanting to give. And if they choose not to give, that's them staying in their energy and that's their choice. But you're detaching from that situation wholeheartedly, which then allows you to be free. It frees up your energy and allows you to detach so you don't create an energetic cord of transference, which happened with me. And I had to do a cord cutting ceremony because I literally was energetically sick from this person. I mentally got vertigo. I felt like vomiting. And I'm still in the process of cleansing and clearing that experience. So I'm sharing this so you don't take on other people's energy. Also, so you don't create unhealthy cords while you go through this manifestation process. I want you to be able to give and receive from the highest potential and the highest frequency. And that would be authenticity. So are you authentically giving from a place of grace? All of those in combination, because if you're authentically giving from grace, there is no attachment because you know that God is your source and he will supply you with this. It's not coming from you. You are simply a channel. And when you are a channel, there is no ego in it. You're just like, okay, I can freely give. And so whenever I have some sort of hesitation with giving, I'll go through a process of checks and balances to ask myself, okay, why am I feeling this hesitation? Is it because I'm coming from a place of lack? Or is it because my guides are telling me you are over giving and you are actually not being of service to this person, which I feel might be a bit of a shock to some people. And because there are times where people will expect you to give stuff to them. And that's not coming from an exchange of love. That's coming from a place of lack. And that demanding that you give to me, that's self-serving energy. And I just felt it drop into lower energy. It's really gross energy. It's fucking gross energy. It's just fucking disgusting. I fucking hate it. I'm getting it out now because it makes me so angry. And I'm sharing this anger because I've also been angry with myself when it happens. I'm like, you are being self-serving. This practice is to help you understand, are you giving from a place of love, abundance, and acceptance and trust? Or are you giving from a place of lack, a place of control? And I think that's where that anger comes from. It's more of a place of control. You're giving so you can create an expected outcome. That's not trust. That's control, which is fear. And that is not of the highest caliber. That is one of the lowest calibrating energies there is. And that's where I have a lot of stuff and qualms with that, especially with when it comes to marketing, that manipulation. I'm going to say this and do that, so you do this. Well, if you are truly in alignment and in abundance, you would trust the words that are coming to you. You would share them and you would release it, so you are a channel. And then that channel becomes your abundance. Because some people might, like, for example, my business, some people might want to just listen. Some people may follow the steps. Other people may feel called to purchase my products. What I'm doing is I'm being a channel for the message so people can resonate and do what is best for their highest intention. I'm not using manipulation tactics. I'm not using selling tactics. What I'm doing is I'm speaking from a place of a desire to help. And from that desire, I'm sharing the things that have helped me. And I created things that helped me with all of my knowledge and everything I've done and experienced as an energy healer, a shaman, and a body worker, as someone who has corrected their scoliosis, who worked through early onsets of Parkinson's, who helped herself free herself from smoking of 18 years. Like, these are the things, because nothing else was helping. I'm sharing from a desire to help people be free. And that's the root of this whole process, is the desire to help people to be free. And I understand that some people may not even be attracted to it. Some people may just be here for the message. Some people may just be here to get the affirmations and follow along on the journey and join in because they want to manifest. Congratulations. And when you listen to all these videos, I give you a breakdown of everything I do. And you can, if you don't feel called to the tools that I use, find the ones that do. Replace what I'm doing with the modalities that resonate with you and combine them with the affirmation process. I understand that everyone is so different. And that was a very humbling part of being a massage therapist, was learning to detach from being a part of people's healing journey, because that's not my business. That's infinite spirit. How presumptuous it is of me to think that someone needs me to be present in order for them to heal. How rude. How disgusting. I was so disgusted with myself. And I realized, like, that's a big reason why I left the massage industry, because for me, it was no longer of my highest form of service. And that's not going to be for everyone. For me, it was. So I wanted to share these two examples, that just because someone offers you money, are you taking that money from lack and expectance of, oh, I did this for you, so you need to do this for me? Or, I'm throwing that energy out, don't we? Or are you open to receiving the gift from someone where in our society, someone might say, oh, thank you for the eraser, and then be like, ew, like, I'm just going to placate this person. I took that eraser, held it like it was the biggest gem in the world. And I took it to work. I'm not ashamed of that eraser. I am so enamored with that eraser because that's the energy I want. Most people would view that as imperfect, but it was the most perfect thing in the world. And it was the most perfect experience because I got to witness in real time what a true manifestation feels like, which will help me with the bigger ones. Because if you can't recognize the simple ones, how are you going to really recognize the big ones? And it's really important because the bigger they get, the more moving parts there are, and the more likely you are not going to properly discern if it is coming from a channel of authenticity and gratitude. Because the bigger they are, the more parts of your subconscious are interconnected. And if you have more subconscious patternings that are not healed, you're going to need to work through those. You're going to need to process them. And you're also going to have to discern through that. And that can get very tricky because things become very shiny the more you manifest. And that shiny doesn't always necessarily mean it is for you to take on. So I know that was a lot, but it was a very necessary share, especially when it comes to gratitude, because people talk about gratitude in the beginning process, but they don't talk about the importance of gratitude at the end. It's something that is the beginning of the channel and comes out the other end. Just think of a tube. If you have water coming in from one end, it's going to come out the other. And if you have gratitude being the channel, the energy of gratitude should be what comes out of it, the end result. If it's not, and you start to get the weird heebie-jeebies somewhere down the line, or your, intuition is saying, hey, take a break, take a pause, that might be a different channel coming through that looks like, gratitude, looks like the manifestation, but it may not be. And if that's the case, that's when you need to get your nervous system regulation practice out, out and about, doing its thing to help you get grounded so you can understand, is this for my highest good? Is this something I need to receive? And the more you do your nervous system regulation practice, the more readily you will understand what is for you and your highest good and what is not. It's like lifting weights. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And I want to thank you for joining me this week. I hope that you have a good one ahead. And next week, I'm going to be sharing with all of you the big manifestation that I will be working on and working towards. So I'll share the process that I've been experiencing, what I've been doing, and how I am putting my information that I've received thus far from this practice into real time so you can see what it means to really, or not, so you can see and I can see what it means to really call in something big, especially if your subconscious has been programmed to not want, desire, or quote unquote need these things, which is crucial. Again, as I said, the bigger the affirmations, the more subconscious blocks you will probably encounter. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next video.